I've been thinking about doing this video for a while now, and touching on the UK, I find it's hard to talk about the UK because it's personal. It's connected to very challenging moments of my life, and I had to overcome them many times. I was faced with adversity. I was faced with times where you just want to give up. I faced that over and over again. I had many negative thoughts come into my mind. I'm thinking that, there's no point anymore. But what I'm going to try and do is not talk too much about my personal experience. I want to touch on some of the reasons why I left the UK, because when I speak to people from the UK, they tell me it's still the same old shithole and they're just surviving. From what I can see, it's only getting worse. Now, when I was in the UK, I was struggling financially and I was working 2 to 3 jobs. I was doing everything I could to try and make enough money to get by. As well as that, I had to stay somewhere, had to find somewhere to stay. I couldn't afford rent. So I was sofa surfing, and it's a horrible thing to do in life. For those of you that don't know what that is, I was going from one house to another, whether it's my friend's house or my auntie's or my nan's. And I was doing this for many years. And it was just a part of my life, but it wasn't stable. I always felt that my home was missing, a base, somewhere that I can feel safe with. It was missing. I thought I need to try and stabilize or give myself stability in this world. How am I to do that? What will it take? I'm hardworking. If there's something that I need to learn, I will learn it. If there's a weakness, I will improve on my weakness. I had this mindset. It was built in me from very challenging moments, from learning how to get back up. And I was an athlete. So I understood that if I can transfer what I'm learning in the gym into my reality, then I will have a chance. I can do something. When you train, you need consistency and you need to go beyond your threshold where it feels challenging. You need to go beyond that to get results. That's how it is in the gym. That's how it is in sports. So if I use that same mentality with work or with life, I will succeed. So I had this mentality that was a benefit in this trap life in the UK. And the reason why I call it trap life is because it feels like every angle or every road you go down, you're trapped. You're not coming out. So in the UK, you do whatever you can. You have to work, you have to try and earn, and you still can't climb the ladder. You get to a point where you feel like giving up and you feel like your purpose in life is worth more. This is not enough. So contemplating and thinking about these things got me to a point where I needed to find another way. I needed to find an alternative. And I remember when I had some opportunities to work for a CrossFit gym, and I also had an opportunity to work with my friends who were involved in the trap life. You got to do what you got to do. And I had the opportunities to progress in both of them paths. But there was a third option. And this option is crucial to who we truly are because it matches our greatest potential. Now, this third option, it wasn't physically there. It was in my mind, but it was an option that I believed in because it was all about trusting me and my own creativity. So I created a third option to go to Cyprus, to have nothing and to start from nothing. But I knew I had everything in my heart and in my mind. And my fuel was my own passion for succeeding. Success, of course, is broad, but success to me was being able to be real, be true to myself, and build a career out of that. I can honestly say 5 years later, I've succeeded and I'm only progressing. I got to a point where I can look back now and reflect. And those of you that are in the UK that are struggling, but you have a belief in yourself, I would say to you, learn to trust yourself. Learn to know that you are capable of doing more. You are capable of it. Don't believe that. Don't listen to those that say you can't do it. You will have to find a way. And you know where I learned this? I learned this when I was broke, where I had no money, I had no one to turn to, and I was sleeping in the streets. And I realized that if I'm alone and I'm broke, I'm at my lowest, I'm still alive. I'm still not broken. I can only go up. That realization fueled me with a fire that I know we all have. We all have this flame inside that we can tap into, but you need to trust it, and you need to be creative, and you need to be willing to work your ass off. All of these are required for you to succeed. So can you do it? Absolutely. You can do it. UK is a trap life. UK is tough. Absolutely. But you have to find your way. And you have to build your foundation, your career around your values. You always have to try and represent your values. This was my first introduction to the UK. Of course, I can go into this deeply and personally. So before I leave you, I just want to emphasize how important it is to understand with a clear mind who you truly are and what you are made of. Usually what defines us is challenging moments. In these challenging moments that we discover our values. When you find that and you find your values, it navigates you and your journey, because you know what you are worth, and you know when to say no, and you know when you are manipulated and used. And you need to know this. It's so important, because you won't sell yourself short. And I always mention the values: honesty, courage, compassion, and acceptance, and moving on from the past. These values are fundamental to your journey. Build your life. Have the courage to build your life in this way. You can do it. I know you can. You just have to believe you can. We can do this. Peace.